And first, we have a Recreation Department update from Ms. Clear.
Thank you. Am I on? I'm not on.
Are we on?
I don't have any juice back here. I'll just talk louder. My main update was with regard to the community development and block grant funding. We found out that that funding is associated with Dumley Park, and we did not know that as of the April meeting, and we were meeting about something else with the block grant people, with the county, and they mentioned the project, and we being myself and the person from JMA were unaware that that funding, there was funding tied to that project. And so what that meant was we are therefore obligated to bid the project in accordance with HUD federal guidelines. We cannot split the project up and to make this go faster until that funding is disassociated from this project. So that is completely out of our hands. So what we need to do, and that's why we're putting the public notice out for the hearing, we have to hold a public hearing and allow for 30-day public comment. So the comment period actually will extend for 2 days beyond the meeting, which is fine. And that will allow us to have 30 days and take that public feedback and decide on an eligible project to reprogram that funding to. And then we have to submit that paperwork to the County Planning and Development Office for Community Development Block Grant, and they will review that and issue a decision as to whether the funding can be reprogrammed to the new project. And if and when they do that, then we can proceed as we had intended to in April with pursuing state bidding, including with the vortex or whatever fixtures we decide to go with. I'm sorry, I'm out of breath, I've been running around. And move the project forward that way. So we are actually, it is now June, and as I explained to Mr. Eccles when he was here in April, we had a hope to have shovels in the ground by then. But the original bids that we had come in back in November were like 3 times what our planning budget was. It was just not feasible to move the project forward with those original bids. It was not a feasible option. So that's why we were looking at state bidding in the first place. And then we found out that had to come to a crashing halt because of the block grant funding. So that was my main update for the group. I, as usual, have submitted my written report to the committee, and all the details are in there regarding additional park projects. But I did want to call out that we met this morning for Stapleton Park, and that project is on time, it's on schedule. Miraculously, it's on budget. I said that out loud. That's the trifecta for a project. But that actually will be done this month, and we're very excited about that. That was actually funded with a grant through Hamilton County Public Health, and also the Recycling Incentive Grant helped fund that project. So I did want to call out that that is proceeding as scheduled. I'm trying to quickly look through this report. As many of you already know, Juneteenth celebration is coming up on June 22nd. And as usual, I would love it if some council members would, make an appearance, help volunteer if possible. You guys all know how to reach me. But we'd love to have you come out and help support that event. It's going to be a great event. We have a lot of community service agencies who are signed up to have booths. It's more of a community informational event, and it's going to be great. We're looking forward to it. That's June 22nd from 10 until 2. And thanks very much to the presenting sponsor, Chase Bank, for that event. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, that's a good question. You can sign up for a booth either by emailing. The easiest thing to do would be to email me. So that's, I'm just going to do the generic recreation@northcollegehill.org. That's the easiest one to remember. recreation@northcollegehill.org. I will get that, and I will get your information to the proper person who is coordinating all the booths. It is Rana Bratchett at the school district. Or she's with the high school, rather. Mm-hmm. And if you want to volunteer, you can also send a note to that email address.
Any other questions?
I did prepare for council a very brief one-pager that kind of is talking about all the parks projects that are currently in flight. There is way more detail in my written report, but just for the sake of a quick and easy reference, so we're not getting the grants mixed up and which park is getting which grant and which funding and what time frame. So, because there's a lot going on. So.
Is there any funding going to Paul Pike Park this year?
We actually lease that property from Clovernook, and since it is a year-to-year lease, grantors will not give us any money for that because they don't want to invest tens of thousands of dollars in a park and then next year we don't have it anymore.
Madam Chair.
Budgeted out for the rest of the year, fiscal.
Budgeted out?
Did I hear you say that you had a calendar of the event for the remainder of the year?
Yes, but that's a different question than budget.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Can you state what you have available for council on tonight? You mentioned you had a document available to present to council on tonight. Can citizens also see that?
I have a one-pager that I created that just talks about the park projects, and then I have my normal monthly report, which is 8 pages long. So I don't typically make copies for every single person in the audience, but if you'd like an electronic copy, I'm the chairperson of the committee can get that to you, or I can get it to you.
Yes, I think the printer is open in the back. Are you able to make copies for citizens tonight?
It's an 8-page report.
Just a single page.
The park page? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Sword.
Ms. Clear, because I also sit on the tree board, we were talking about putting trees in Stapleton Park. So I'm curious, could you send me more details as to what your plans are for Stapleton Park, and so we can see if trees can fit into your plan?
Sure. And in fact, we actually talked about that a little bit this morning because that park could do with some more shade. So we were actually talking about that.
Madam
No, I'm
Chair,
Parks and Recreation.
speaking, it's not getting recorded.
Excuse me, they generally don't have like a whole lot of comments from the public during committee meetings, but if you do want to speak, I'll allow it, but please go to the podium because they're being recorded and so that everyone can hear your comments because everybody might want to hear what you're saying. I mean, feel free, but just so everyone can hear what you're saying, because you may be posing the same questions that someone else out in the audience.
And to repeat her question in case people did not hear, she was asking in what way can you sign up for a booth or to volunteer. Ms. Curitin was asking for the one-page summary of the parks projects. And this gentleman here was asking if I was responsible for grass, like the public spaces, and I am not. I am just Parks and Recreation.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that because I thought he said grants. I didn't know he said grass.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I just wanted to ask Ms. Clear, do you have everything that you need for the Nature Works grant? I think at last conversation, it had been sent to Mr. Dieters to review, and Christian needed to get a signed copy of the resolution. Is there anything else that you need from us?
I do not need anything else from you. And actually, you did pass the legislation the last time that council
Okay.
met. And I did get a signed certified
get it
version of
finally.
the legislation that's required for the application. I also am working with Ms. Anderson because they do require a document that certifies that we have revenue. So they just do that for everybody, regardless of whether you're a municipality or a nonprofit. You have to certify that that there is basically money in the bank,
Okay.
and that's par for the course with certain types of government grants. That's not unusual.
I also wanted to update the public hearing date because at our last meeting, we weren't quite sure of the requirements, and I heard you say the 30 days, and we had set a date for June 24th. And I want to let everyone know that that date has been set for July 8th to be in compliance with the Hamilton County requirements. And it is being posted publicly in the newspapers, on the website, and also on our doors here to let our citizens know. July 8th at 6 o'clock will be the public hearing for not only the CDBG funding, but after that, also the public hearing for the 1,500 square footage zone change, dealing with housing.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I thought one of those meetings started at 5:45. No?
No. That has, I know it was it's 6 o'clock.
For both?
The block grant funding was 6, but I thought the other one was at 5:45 for the zoning.
Okay, well, let me check the emails again.
Okay,
I'll
yeah.
double check the emails.
I almost forgot to mention also, they've extended the compost bin sale for a couple more days due to demand, and they were able to get a few more compost bins. I do have flyers in the back of the room if anyone's interested.
You guys are correct. It's 5:45. I'm sorry, it was a lot going on during that week. It's going to start at 5:45. And that's July 8th. Next on my agenda is the park rental draft. I know that I had sent over, and it had been previously sent to our committee members to review the park rental. And if we had any updates, we wanted you to kind of like mark it up to see if there's any updates or changes. I see, and I'm sorry, I just happened to notice that one of my other committee members is not here. Ms. Zorb, had you got a chance to look at the park rental
I did not.
draft?
I did not.
Now, we can always, I can give everybody a little bit more time, but we don't want to just sit on this because I know that we have activities that go on in our parks, our, sports teams, our youth. I believe that the football team uses our parks, and the Say Soccer teams use our parks. And
Madam Chair.
I don't want to hold that up. Yes.
What's in place today? Like, how do they use them today?
Well, this is my first time running this meeting, so I don't know if there's a contract. Ms. Clear, would you happen to know how the various sports teams get access to the parks? I'm assuming that there's some type of contract that they maybe do yearly, or I know I've seen kids in the park playing sports, soccer, football.
If it's casual play, then they can come and play as any other casual park visitor would come and play in the park. Last year, there was an agreement with the football team, and we invoiced them for rental and also pass-through charges for the use of a porta potty, a Rumpke portalet at the park. So there was some invoicing that went on in that regard. I do not personally know of a contract that exists this year for the football team to be using the park.
Madam Chair.
I'm sorry. Can I just ask one other question? What about, I know I've seen a soccer team there.
A soccer team in Pies Park or any other park? Which park are you referring to?
I believe it was in Pies Park. I'm not sure. But I've seen like a little like youth soccer team playing somewhere.
I am unaware of a soccer team. I
Okay,
don't
and
know
when you
anything
say
about that.
casual play, you just mean like, hey, my kids.
Yeah, my kids and the group of their friends are just going to come kick a ball around.
Okay.
Nothing like an organized sports organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ms. Dukestein?
I have two comments. One is, say soccer league used to rent that park out there, or the same park where the football field was, literally, I would say for 15 plus years more. One, because my oldest daughter, who's now 24, played soccer, and then my son, who's 14, there's a big gap between them, also played. I'm not sure what happened to them, but there was definitely organized rental there for a very long time. As far as I know, the city has never owned that park and has always rented it. And then the other thing that I had to say is, I'm not officially on your committee. Do you have a quorum? Should we be meeting?
Funny you asked that, because I'm sitting here looking at I'm looking at the website to see who's all on this committee at the same time.
It's not.
Who's all on this committee?
Well, I'm on it. Donna was on it. I believe Mr. Davis was on it.
So Davis is not here.
I believe Miss Stewall was on it. She's on all.
You have less than 5. I mean, less than half.
Yeah, we can't hold this meeting.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, I know my presence was here, so that kind of indicates that but I'm not. So I just wanted to make sure
Thank you. I
knew that.
appreciate that.
Would I be able to just address the soccer? Because I know that question has come up to me before, just as an update from the recreation department. Would that be permissible?
Mayor, is that permissible?
No.
We're done.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
7:17.
Just quiet.
Michelle, so I'm looking at the website, and Brandon's not, he's only listed on one committee. He's only listed on public safety.
But I think that's a
Is he on
mistake.
yours?
That's a mistake.
That's a
because I know
mistake.
he's on budget and finance.
I
And
believe the
recreation.
website
On
just
bu-
lists
he's
the
not on finance,
chairpersons. It
'cause
does
he
not
said
list
he
every
was-
member.
And you had a finance meeting.
He always sits right here.
No,
He's on mine. I remember.
because you even made a comment about him being there, and he was sitting in the audience.
I made a comment about Ms. Brunner, not him.
Nope.
He was late.
Yeah.
So Mary Jo, any discussions tonight will have to be rehabbed.
Yep. Yeah, this meeting did not happen.
We would have to go over, redo everything.
That's fine. Well, can someone find out if Brandon is The coming second tonight? Monday.
I have no contact information for him.
Do you have quorum? Do you I have his cell phone, but he never answers. No one has contact information for Brandon. I do. I do, but he don't never answer.
He can give it to administration. And Mike, I'll text Eric.
I think Ms. Underwood.
I have his number. To know if your time can be respected if he's not in presence.
Right.
Miss Dukestein, I have his telephone number.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't hear you.
He don't never answer.
Thank you, though. Oh, I apologize, I should've, I didn't.
Miss Dukestein was thrown up. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Wilson called you. They were trying to see if he was coming to the meeting.
I just
All right,
need
thank
this.
So Ms. Sorb, and thank you, that was a great, very good leadership execution, because no one in the room identified that, so that's good to stay compliant. But I just want to clarify, if the contents of tonight's meeting did not occur, then what will happen? It will just be another 2 weeks before, and we'll just revisit everything all over again?
It won't be 2, it's 4.
Yeah, yep, 4. Unless she calls a special meeting.
Well, and it depends because that block grant hearing might go on for a while. It might.
Was there any business that you needed to conduct tonight that's time sensitive? I think that's the issue.
Well, what I could do is I could adjust my agenda, any time-sensitive thing, and give you a spotlight in mine. I could yield a portion where there is a quorum.
Okay.
I could do that for you,
I appreciate
if you
that.
need that.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you
Okay.
have any time sensitive things? That's the
Um,
first question at hand.
I'll just repeat about the hearing, that's time sensitive. I just really want to get that out. I think that's the only time sensitive. The only other things I had was, things that are going on in the neighborhood that can be posted.
So should I reclaim my reports then? Or because it's been submitted to the committee? Because it really doesn't have anything to do with the meeting itself. It was just submitted to the, I don't know.
You're talking about the papers that you passed out?
My handouts that I just gave out to everybody. Okay, well, I need the parks list back. Thank you, friends.
Well, actually, that's a public document.
It is. Well, that's what I said. I just submitted it to the committee, so.
No, it doesn't. They can still have that.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. That helps.
You sent it to us, so it's a public document, so
Okay, yeah,
they
okay.
can have it.
Guys, would make my first meeting all topsy-turvy.
Do you have something after this? It stops in December.
There was the January, I think I emailed you already.
everybody to sit to the front. And if you don't mind, Ms. Jeanette, can you look back there and see if you see a HDMI? I have so many documents. I know that it would be beneficial for you all to see them on the screen, even if you have to move. Oh, and I have to wait until Brandon gets here, which he's walking in the door right now.
How are you? Good, how you doing? Good. Miss Clear, Mrs. Clear. Can we use this?
I beg your pardon?
Can we use this?
That is all part of Chase's ad.
Oh, so they took care of it.
Yeah, that was their, they had a half-page ad. They gave us $2,500.
I like the color.
Those are our, that's our branding. I gave them the branding.
Mr. Davis,
I like it.
Mr. Davis, I just want to confirm, are you on this committee, or are you just coming to this meeting?
Finance. No, this
This
is
is budget and
finance.
finance.
Let y'all sit together.
You're not on this,
But
You're
you're
not-
on community and development. Okay.
which two are you on?
Public safety and community development.
Okay,
Sit on
we
this.
gotta cancel.
I'll have to cancel it. I had to cancel mine. I didn't have a quorum.
Hey,
Thank you, whatever, just kind of pull out whatever you have this fall, still because it's so cold today. What is this?
I wanted to get with you on that police officer.
I do, you can
Are
have
you able
it.
to
I
do
printed those.
We
You
can't.
can have it.
Oh,
We got one
Nope.
tomorrow.
ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry. I just talked to Mr. Davis, and he is actually not a member of Budget and Finance. He sits on Public Safety and Recreation, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
So even though he attends Budget and Finance, he's not a member of Budget and Finance, or he's not so I can't have tonight's meeting. I have to cancel. And I really apologize about your time. I'm going to reschedule. I cannot wait until July to have another meeting. So I look for a reschedule. I have to. We have so many weighted things on our agenda tonight, and one of which can't wait. So I will send out all the appropriate notifications to reschedule this meeting when I can confirm everyone's availability. And again, I apologize about your time tonight.
Apologize. And so, I guess we're trying to figure out who all is on your committee officially?
Everyone but Mrs. Brunner, which that seat is now vacant, and Mr. Davis. So Mrs. Dewald and Mrs. Underwood are absent tonight, and so that would have made my quorum. So hopefully the backfill for Miss Brunner will join this committee and we will have what we need.
And you cannot use her meeting time, even though you now have quorum.
She doesn't.
I don't have a
doesn't have a
quorum
quorum.
either.
No, she's talking to
I'm speaking to Ms.
Mashallah.
Alexander.
Yes, I can't use her time because we can't have her meeting.
Right, it would have to be publicly announced, so it's,
Yeah. Once
call
my
her
meeting
quorum.
time
She can't
starts,
call her meeting to order.
so I would have to call my meeting to order, yield it over to her, which we could do her business in my meeting because there's a quorum for hers, but because I don't have a quorum, I cannot conduct official business to even yield it over to her. So then that cancels out her as well.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
yeah, I thought it was members present.
I think that you can start a meeting late, you just can't start a meeting early. So just because this is time for finance, it is my opinion that we can start that meeting and just start it late. That's
But we would
my
have
opinion.
No,
I am
don't
not a
wanna go
lawyer.
on opinion.
Yeah, she's right in regards to that.
But
she is
late's
correct.
going into whole nother meeting.
You can't start early, but you
I
can
can't
late.
start early.
No, she's
But
moving
she
you-
already-
she's removing you from the equation.
She's already adjourned her
Oh,
meeting.
but she didn't never have a meeting.
Didn't have a meeting.
You didn't have
But she can move her time from 6:30 to 7.
That's
No,
true. That's actually
she's
true.
not moving it. We're just starting late.
Okay,
Yeah.
starting late, not moving, but
That's true, because it never happened.
Then she'll have 1, 2, 3.
That's true.
So it doesn't have to be publicly announced then?
No.
As long as it's.
Because it
late
happened
just
late.
started late.
Start time, okay.
as long as it's 24 hours in advance, which it was, it's just starting late.
It's just starting late.
Yes.
So you can start your meeting if you'd like.
Sorry your IT didn't work out.
I know, right? I was so smart with it. Thank you.
So will I need to start over with
Everything.
everything?
But thank you.
May I make another suggestion for anyone that's
Hello, it's 7:44, and we're going to start our City Community and Development and Recreation Committee meeting for today, July 10th. And we will start by reiterating the new date for the hearing for the CDBG funding and also the residents in North College Hill 1,500 square feet footage zone updates, and that will be July 8th at 5:45 here in the city center, excuse me, in the senior center, sorry.
Can you come a little early and I can give you the resume?
We have also a few updates on some projects that are coming up. Pull it back up, sorry. One second. Information. I want to reiterate that we will be having our Juneteenth Jam on June 22nd, 2024. It is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Chase Bank, the North College Hill branch, and that is at 1535 West Galbraith on the corner of Goodman. We are still in the need of volunteers for things like cleanup. We'll be having Kona Ice there. There'll be some live music and a literacy workshop. There is also a recycling drop-off July 20th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at 1500 West Galbraith. That is for personal care items only. There will be a Stapleton Park ribbon cutting July 6th.
I'm sorry, that wasn't for you, but now that I have your attention.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm sorry. Do you have a list of the items that are in that, you said personal items? I don't know what that means. Do you have
It just said personal care, but I can get some more details. It said, that's all it said was personal care.
That's vague.
Yeah, it is pretty vague.
All right, sorry.
I'll get some more detail from Ms. Clear, because I actually got that information from Ms. Clear.
Thank you.
Stapleton Park ribbon cutting, that will be July 6th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Also, there is a digital literacy 5-week series workshop, basic computer skills, what's in store for you. The phone number, and this is put on also by Cincinnati Works. The phone number is 513-744-9675. And I'll have this posted. We also have some information regarding, we're trying to update the park rental. For several years, we've had organized sports in our various parks in North College Hill, and from what I hear, that certain things may need to be updated. Our council has had a copy of that. I am going to actually give them a little bit more time to review our proposed draft to see if any changes or updates need to be reviewed or changed. Our director, Ms. Cleared, has had to leave, or we would engage her in some more information regarding that. But this will stay on the agenda because I know that our youth utilizes our parks pretty frequently. Also, let's see. Thrive, they're in the process of updating their registry for volunteers. They're going to be developing some next steps in orientation for our workshops. They're looking for more opportunities for our youth, and they're going to discuss recruitment for ReThrive. And their next meeting is July 9th from 2 to 3 here at the Senior Center. Does anyone have any old business that they would like to bring up? If there is not any old business, is there any new business?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just had a question for Ms. Ellis, who was here. Uh-oh.
Yes.
Did the Council on Aging program begin yet?
It did not, I didn't get any, do I have to talk in?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
I have to give my name?
That would be great. Blood type.
Colleen Ellis, 6928 Kleindale Avenue. I am the Senior Center Coordinator. The program we were going to have with the Coalition on Aging, it was a Tai Chi exercise. I got no interest at all, none. And we do have to have a minimum of 8 participants. The seniors want bingo, so hopefully in August we'll have the bingo size. It's going to be a combination of bingo, exercise, and nutrition. And the Senior Center or North College Hill will get funds back if we get enough participants that complete the program.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we can have Ms. Clear put it on the city website again. Okay.
I don't have a specific date
Date.
yet as when it's going to start. I'm trying for July, but there were kind of Coalition COA has bingo was tapped out.
Okay.
I do have Ohio State coming in for a 3-week program for nutrition for elders. When I get the specific dates, I'll have her add that to the website as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Like always, we're always looking for volunteers for upcoming activities. Heading for the Hero Car Show, we're still, it's never too early to start, asking for volunteers. Our contact is Ms. Clear. You can email her to serve on the planning committee, soliciting door prizes, and just, helping out. We're also going to have another city cleanup in September. This is going to be around the 21st. And we're going to be picking up litter and trying to keep our parks clean. Always volunteers needed for that, to check in and to receive supplies. Also, during that same event, we're going to have the drive-through and drop-off recycling event. And that is going to be from 10 to 12, and we need also volunteers for that. And that's going to be at 1500 West Galbraith, as opposed to the other cleanup is going to be at 1586 Goodman. October 26th, the Family Fall Festival and Vendor Event. That is going to be from 2 to 5. We're going to need lots of help with setup and cleanup. This is going to be on Goodman Avenue between Wise Park and the DeVita Kidney Care Center. And we need people to serve on those planning committees. All ideas are needed, wanted. I'm sure nobody will be turned away.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to let the videographer know that the screen went dark and we can't be seen. Someone from who's watching text.
And there's going to be crafts and face painting. Of course, we need vendor assistance, setting up booths, things of that nature. Does anyone else have any new business? Yes, Ms. Curtin.
Kathy Curtin, 6718 Devonwood Drive. So I just want to look forward because tonight was just a bit much for the schedule. And I understand family emergencies happen, so that's not the fault of those who had it. However, on our calendar for July 8th at 5:45 is the public hearing meeting.
Yes.
However, appears to be another conflict. It states that Rules and Public Policy will be meeting July 8th at 6, and it also states the public hearing is July 8th at 6. I just want to make sure that we have an understanding of those correct dates and those correct times. I believe that the public hearing is correct.
They're going to forego their time.
Okay, so that needs to be removed from the calendar. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And then if I can just ask, this is not your committee, Ms. Dukestein. I'm just wondering, when will you have will it be July that you'll, okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Ms. Lucy.
2 questions. One, I'd like to address Ms. Curtin. I make sure I look at the spelling in my head, make sure I say it right. But I'm going to try to organize, but it's really based on the council members' availability. Even if I'm available, we have to have a quorum and we have to have availability and then the appropriate notice. But I'll definitely make sure that it's out there in advance enough for people to have an appropriate notice. Because I have the answers for your specific questions that you ask, and I committed to bringing those forward today. So I definitely want to deliver on this month. And then we just have, with the summer session, when we cancel committee meetings, we just have a lot to take care of. And then my second question is, I know that can you yield, well, your time is up. I was going to ask if you could yield me some of your time, because we had an executive session on there, and we definitely need to handle one of the items on the executive session, but
I'm done. I can adjourn our meeting now.
you would have to.
I would need to.
Do not adjourn your meeting. You would have to call the executive session in your meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Once you adjourn it, we're done for the night.
Done. Okay, all right.
Sorry, I didn't mean that to come
If
across.
we're finished, if you don't mind,
I'm finished,
and then
and I can yield
your
no,
Just call executive session.
okay.
You do not have quorum. You can't yield time over to her committee.
Okay, because she doesn't have a quorum, okay. I would like to call executive session to discuss
what we always discuss, like public employees
public employees,
and their salaries.
and their salaries and HR stuff. Okay, but. and
The
their
minutes
salary.
will have to show the ORC listing. It's like ORC 122.22 or something like that.
Okay, I'll have to find that.
I can send it to
Can
you.
you send that to me?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. All right.
Where did you, can I have my copies back?
These are for next time. That's why I collected it back.
Yeah,
What do you want,
but
copy?
You want it? Okay.
please.
Take them. I think these are your copies too. But this is not finance. This is recreation.
I'm good. I just made